Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me, except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Matt's come with me. No. When do we start?
Hey, it's that time of the week again. Welcome back to the show. Woo woo! This week, what are we doing? News, as we do this week in comics history with some fun ones.
Oh, yes.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Uh-huh.
Sports, and a question.
Oh, let's get to it.
Listener question.
Have you enjoyed the recent weather?
No.
Why not?
Because it's just been air conditioning nonstop.
I don't use air conditioner. I just put a fan in the window and circulate air through my house. It works.
It's not free. It's not cheap.
Well, a fan is cheaper than an air conditioner.
Yeah. Hard to do at a store when it's all paper products and a fan would just blow everything around.
Oh, that does suck. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Hard to
do. I can see how that would be. Well, aim the fan toward the spines of the books.
No, it's not going to work.
Oh, well, I tried.
I don't know if anyone noticed this or not.
Get a little one. There's a little space one just underneath your stool.
There's one right by me.
Okay, there you go.
It's a little window one, but
I'm trying to help.
Last week, I don't know if anyone noticed or not. I hope no one did. I don't know if the show sounded a little bit different.
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
I forgot the memory card at the house, so I had to edit it when I got home, and I did it as quickly as I could.
Oh, okay.
It definitely didn't go through it as finely as I normally do.
Yeah, you know.
Because I had to cut 2 shows. It was like 2.5 hours, and it's like 10:30 at night, and I'm just burning through it as fast as I can.
Hey, you know, we are more polished than we had been in the past, so it must have been...
And I think more polished than most shows out there.
Reasonable.
I don't know if anyone noticed or not, but if you did, sorry. It's just I left the SD card at the house. I usually edit at work.
Don't bring attention to it. Just like, oh, okay, yeah. Had some technical difficulties with the show last week. That's all I had to say.
I got it out there.
You're letting people way too far behind the curtain of this ordeal. I do.
It's connecting. Makes it more personal.
We're supposed to create an illusion. We're supposed to be perfect people.
It's like I share personal information, but I'm not actually.
I don't think you've ever shared anything personal in your life.
It's a lockbox of Pandora proportions.
Yeah, you don't want to open it. Once that toothpaste is out of that tube, it's not going back.
Let's just plug up front your show, just in case
people
didn't hear about it.
We are officially iTunes official. The Coach's Room podcast, we're going to be recording this week. It'll come out the beginning of next week, around the 15th, I think is the date that our next show will be out. Great guest will be on our show, Rob Kennedy. He works for Dartmouth Hockey. He's a local educator, does high school sports in Maine, and was on the Chevrolet swim team, whose captain allegedly murdered 3 people and was acquitted in trial. So we're going to talk about that, plus the life of a broadcaster and broadcasting Maine sports. And that's going to be on the next episode of the Coach's Room podcast, which will be out around July 15th.
From there, let's jump into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
What news, you may ask?
There's nothing really, is there?
There's Comic-Con's next week, so yeah.
Everyone's sitting on anything. Think we're going to get a Star Wars trailer next week? Or are they going to... D23 has already happened, so...
Will we get a trailer next week? I don't know. No, because D23 hasn't happened yet. That's in August.
Oh, it's in August.
I bet... I'm going to say no, because I think Marvel's going to drop all their stuff, and then they'll do Star Wars at D23.
Okay, Star Wars at D23 and Phase 4 coming up here.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
That makes sense. I like that. It's a good call.
And probably a teaser trailer for that secret Marvel movie they've been shooting that's not that secret.
Oh, Black Widow?
Oh, I wasn't going to say it, but yes, that one.
Oh, yes. Wait, hold on. Dark wife of a dead husband?
Cool. But yeah, there's not much to talk about this week. We will go through some of them. I guess not comics related, but pop culture related. For anyone who's following Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston on Twitter, the two of them have been teasing something for like the last 2 weeks. What's it gonna be? They kept on putting up these like dueling posts on Instagram and Twitter, building to something. Some kind of announcement was building. We know that there's a Breaking Bad movie in the works. We don't know many details about it. What could it be?
Maybe it's the Breaking Bad movie.
It was an alcohol. They're making a booze together.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of a very disappointing reveal. Oh, maybe didn't need 2 weeks of build-up for that.
Are they making it, or are they just branding it? I feel like they're not the brewers of this alcohol.
No.
Exactly.
Just one more celebrity alcohol.
Hey, why not?
It's like $58 a bottle, so I won't be trying it.
Ah. Have you wanted to try Proper 12, though?
I don't know what that is.
It's an Irish whiskey by Conor McGregor.
Oh, I've seen the ads. Well, I can't understand what he's saying when he's in the commercials.
Whatever. Open your ears. Listen, it's pretty straightforward. He's here, have a whiskey.
He's one of those guys who shouldn't be a spokesman in the term of actually speaking.
Oh, speaking of MMA, did you see the knockout in the MMA fight over the weekend?
We're not in sports.
Okay, fine. We'll talk about it in
You
sports.
have a segment.
All right. Yeah, you go to the segment. It's called NBA Summer Basketball and Free Agency with Zach as part of Jared's sports reports. Just kind of leveraged me out of my whole thing. That's all you want to do is you want to talk about the Celtics, which is fine, but there's more than just the Celtics.
I watched the FIFA World Cup.
There you go.
Had a good time.
Attaboy.
Gonna watch boxing on Friday.
Ooh, see? Look at you. Expanding.
Mad Magazine has been canceled after 67 years.
Yeah, I saw that. That's really sad.
It's one of those, I wasn't like avid, but I used to get them every couple of months probably when I was a kid, like around like that, maybe like 11 to 14 range.
I really liked when I was a young kid, go into the grocery store, I just hang out at the news rack and read Mad Magazine.
Well, you're a thief.
No, I wasn't a thief. I was young and my mom wouldn't buy it.
Are you consuming content that others have to pay for?
I just wanted to read Spy vs. Spy.
You thief.
That's all I really cared about was Spy vs. Spy. And some of the satire stuff.
It's not fully canceled, but they're not going to be putting out any new material. It's all going to be reprint editions from now on. But hey, 67 years, not a bad run.
No, not a bad run
That
at
many
all.
things last 67 years.
It's still disappointing.
It is. It's a bummer, but everyone I saw that was like, it's so sad. I haven't read it in 10 years. Like, yeah, that's about right.
Well, that's probably why it's going out of business.
Yeah.
Because real life has become more mad than Mad Magazine.
The Flash may have a director, and by that I say this guy will definitely back out like the last 27 directors that have backed out.
Who is it?
Why'd you have to ask? Andy Muschietti. He's the director of the It movies, the most recent ones.
Okay.
The first one's fine. I haven't seen the second one, obviously, because it's not out. Well, what do you want? It's not.
Just say the first one's fine. That's all you have to say.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'll see the second one.
In theaters or Redbox it?
Oh, Redbox. I'm not paying.
That's right. You run me dry by going to the movies.
I don't think there's anything for a while, though.
No, I don't believe so there either.
Or nothing that we're going to see. We're not going out for The Lion King.
I mean, unless you wanted to go.
I don't.
Okay.
I think the only movie that I got like lined up that I'm not going to see for the shows, I'm going to go see Rambo. I'll see that by myself because I'm sure no one wants to see that with me.
I might see that.
And I think we're going to do Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but do that at a drive-in.
Yeah, that'd be fun to do as part of a double feature.
It's a good drive-in movie, or it looks like it. But yeah, well, I mean, The Flash has been burned so many times by directors. This movie's never happening, at least not in this iteration.
No.
Oh, and in some now deleted tweets, Christopher McQuarrie, guy behind the Mission Impossible movies, at least the last couple of them, met with Warner Brothers about doing a Man of Steel 2 movie that would involve him in space with the Green Lantern Corps. In his now deleted tweets, he said that Warner Brothers was not interested in his new ideas, but only fixing their broken ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. That's not a good... We don't want to...
Well, to put him off, too, he's like, I've been in the business for 25 years. I don't pitch, and I'm never doing that again.
It's fair.
All these tweets have been deleted. So, good job, Warner Brothers. I can't wait for that Flash movie.
Woo!
Yeah.
Don't blink. You might miss it.
Fix it. I like that. Not interested in my new ideas, but only fixing their broken ones. Harsh. Harsh and true, I'm sure. Matt Groening of Simpsons fame and Futurama and Disenchantment, I guess, is starting his own comic book company.
Is he really?
Well, he'd published with Boom Studios for like 25 years, I think, doing Simpsons comics and Futurama books, but they lost the license for whatever reason. I think probably due to the Disney acquisition. But yeah, he's starting his own independent company, Bapper Books. And right now, the only thing they have lined up for it is Disenchantment books. Because I'm sure that now that Fox owns The Simpsons, they're going to want to have The Simpsons under a banner that they own.
Yes, they're going to want like
yeah.
unauthorized Simpsons books.
They could always license it out to Groening, which is where we're going to license you your own thing, but it could happen.
Yep.
That show's coming back soon. People really beat on it. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it enough.
Well, you're a diehard Simpsons fan, though.
Yeah, it was like 10 episodes. I watched it in a couple of days. I had a good enough time. When the second season comes out, I'll watch that probably in a couple of days. Probably enjoy myself.
Yes.
People are really harsh on it, though. I'm like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, it was fun enough. Marvel just wrapped up X-Men Grand Design, which was 6 issues, all done by one creator, Ed Piskor, who wrote it, drew it, lettered it, colored it. He did everything.
Wow.
And now...
It's a labor of love.
Yeah, and summing up the X-Men basically from start through the 1980s. Now Marvel's trying that again, but with the Fantastic Four, with Fantastic Four Grand Design. Writer and artist Tom... A lot of Italian names tonight. Scaloli. Scioli. I don't know.
Don't ask me.
There's no N. I said there was an N before.
Scioli.
He's going to be doing it, covering like 50 years of the Fantastic Four. I really like the X-Men ones, and I mean, when you're dealing with things that long, if people are like, what's up with this? If you could just throw them something like that, like here's a condensed version, and the one that the X-Men also did is it pretended there was, and the term grand design is pretending that there was always a plan.
But there wasn't.
I mean, no, everyone new comes on it, they make up a thing, and even the guys that, like Stan and Jack weren't planning it out like for their 103 issue run. It was just, what's next?
Yeah, what can we do for 5 issues?
Yeah, so this is just going to be doing all of the history, but also acting like there's a through line and finding what that through line is, which is, I think a good condensable way to do it versus reading a boring Wikipedia article that's confusing.
It's kind of like an illustrated history.
Yeah, it's like a footnotes for comics.
With pictures.
So even more fun.
Yes, right up my alley.
Honestly, that's it for news this week. There's a bunch of little teases here and there. Comic-Con's next week, so everything's like, this is the list of panels that are happening. This is the schedule for Sunday, all that stuff. We're not going to do that. We'll deal with the big news coming out of Comic-Con. I think it's next week. I hope it is, because I keep on saying it is.
You've said it for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I know it's right around the corner.
It's out there
Look,
somewhere.
it's next week or the week after. I'm not sure which one. And from the news, we're going to move on to This Week in Comics History.
Superhero landing coming up.
This week in comics history.
Oh, what a week it was. Let's knock out some first appearances.
Yes.
We're going to save one for later.
Okay.
Jane Foster first debuted in 1962 in Journey into Mystery number 84. First hired by Donald Blake, where she has a passionate love that he just never comes through on. Then, becomes Thor's girlfriend. Later on becomes Thor herself. Now she's a Valkyrie. New series coming out soon. Pre-order it.
Nice plug. Good job.
Gonna sneak that in there. Ocean Master, Orm, Aquaman's brother, first appeared in Aquaman number 29 in 1966, recently played by Patrick Wilson in that movie.
It's kind of a weak name, Ocean Master. It sounds like something like a boat.
I'm sure there's a boat out there named Ocean Master.
I'm sure there is.
Ben Reilly, the clone of Spider-Man, the character that kicked off the lengthy and confusing Clone War. I've never read all of it, not even close. Came in Amazing Spider-Man number 149 in 1975. The issue that would ruin the 90s. Is what it is.
I don't know, so I'm going to take your word for it.
We can't even tackle that. That would take us like a year and a half.
Well, it's going to be another side podcast.
It'd have to be its own dedicated show.
Like the Buffy back issue bin.
But less confusing, or more confusing. I don't know. More confusing. That's where I landed. Kang, the Avengers villain, who I think is a very big frontrunner for whatever is coming next in the Marvel Universe. He's a time traveler. Maybe he's a future Reed Richards. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's a Doctor Doom. Maybe he's King Tut.
Ooh, King Tut.
He could be many things. Steve Rogers has his fictional birthday this week. You'll never guess on what day it is.
Well, it wasn't July 4th. That was last week.
Well, I mean, we're doing it from last week to this week.
Oh, so July 4th?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's a little on the nose.
Well, that's a good guess.
It's really lame.
I
don't approve of it. We also get one of my favorite Superman characters who appears every 90 days. First appeared in 1964 in Superman number 30, and the only way you can defeat him and send him back to his dimension is to say his name backwards. Now, I've written out for you his name forwards. How would you pronounce that?
Imzel Tolk. I don't know.
Mr. Mixes Pitalik.
Mixpitalik. Wow, okay.
Yeah, the only way you can get rid of him is to get him to say his own name backwards. It's complicated.
I guess so.
Barry Allen the Flash first appeared in Showcase number 4 in 1956, The Silver Age Flash. It's a pricey book.
Well,
amazingly
is
enough.
it made of silver?
You could spend some solid silver on it.
Silver's I don't know what the silver market looks like these days, but I'm sure it's competitive.
Comics legend and well-known grump John Byrne was born this week in 1950. Best known for the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Superman, She-Hulk. I should say best if I'm just going to keep listing all the things he did, but yeah. Okay, not best known for Next Men. There we go. And of course, the most important first appearance that happened this week.
Action Comics number 1?
No.
Oh.
I didn't write down the year. Let's say it's 1962.
Oh, jeez.
I'm probably right.
Okay.
62 or 63.
Real accurate, real historically accurate.
In Strange Tales, number 113.
Doctor Strange?
Samuel Smithers made his first appearance.
Oh, yeah, he's real important.
First battling the Human Torch with his Veggie, making trees box each other and defeating the Human Torch with a morning dew and some acorns.
Oh, that asshole.
The Plant Man made his first appearance in comics history this week.
Well, you know what? Screw him.
Well known to be Jared's favorite comic book character, the Plant Man.
Oh, the Plant Man can get bent. I hope he gets uprooted.
That was as bad as the Plant Man.
I could go all day. He needs to leave me alone.
I didn't even know what his name was. Samuel Smithers.
He needs to branch out his work.
I love that he made trees box.
I mean, I'll give
their
him,
roots were out of the ground. They
I'll
had
give
legs.
him that. I'll give him that.
It wasn't just trees like with their limbs. It was like, no, uprooted.
Yeah, they were going at each
Boxing.
other. Yeah.
Defeated the Human Torch with a light dew.
Well,
Amazing. That will take us out of this week in comics history.
some real winners this week in comics history.
Plant Man.
Samuel Smithers. What a dolt.
This one was given to me, so I'm not going to take credit for it.
Okay. So it must be good then.
No,
Oh.
it's just as bad. But I just want to delete it so I can remember to give credit.
Okay.
From Mockingbird to Larry Bird.
That's not bad.
You go to hell.
That's better than some of the junk you brought to this segment.
We're moving on to Jared's sports reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
The Patriots are right about 2 weeks away from starting up their training camp, so that's always exciting. It's really kind of a downtime in sports. You got summer league basketball going on, which I know Zach is all whipped up about it. But you've got the Major League All-Star Game, pretty good drama in the home run derby. Although the biggest thing to come out of this is the discovery of the Korean bunt contest.
What the hell is that?
So it's like their version of the home run derby, only it's bunts, and they get little targets out on the first and third base lines, and you've got to put the ball into the target, and you accumulate points by.
Sounds kind of entertaining.
It's super entertaining. I watched some of it on Twitter. Really, really cool. So you've got that. Let's see, other important sports news of note.
FIFA.
Oh yeah,
It's
the Women's World Cup. The United States won their second in a row, defending their title. It's their fourth overall, with a shutout victory over the Netherlands.
Yep.
Those crazy Dutch.
I heard the men's league hasn't won since like 1930.
Oh, the men are not good. They lost in the Gold Cup final against Mexico 1-0 or 2-0, something like it was. I think it was 1-0.
Yeah, we watched that. We had a good time. It was a fun game.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were really beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah, that was
a violent game.
That was a much more physical game than the women's game. But the women...
Well, no, I was the women's game.
Oh, the women's
That's
game
what
was...
we watched.
Oh, yeah, it was really entertaining. I like that.
There was blood
Oh, yeah,
flying
there was
everywhere.
blood, people getting concussed.
People getting kicked in the back, like the shoulder.
Oh, it's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
It's a lot of fun. We had a good time.
So the big thing that really came out of the Women's World Cup was VAR, video assisted refereeing. It kind of like their own version of instant replay led to Megan Rapinoe getting a penalty kick that opened things up to be 1-0, and then they scored another goal quickly thereafter, and it was cruise control, and they're right on it. So the women with another World Cup championship, and Megan Rapinoe got the gold ball and the gold boot, so the MVP and the top scorer in the tournament.
I liked when after she scored that goal, she just kind of like did this like little pirouette, and just like
That's been her
arms out.
signature.
I don't watch that much soccer.
I've been watching.
Basically watched none.
I watched the Women's World Cup. I watched most of the tournament.
I really
The
bandwagoned this
women's
last
tournament,
one.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's the World Cup. I'll watch that.
Do you want to talk about your basketball?
Sure.
Okay.
Probably the end of, not the end of free agency, but the end of the big moves is done. Kawhi to the Clippers, and also Paul George.
Yeah, the Clippers are stacked. They became really good really fast.
To get Paul George, they basically gave up all of their picks for like the next 5 years.
Yes. So they want to win now. So you give Doc Rivers some ingredients, just like he had the big three when he was in Boston.
Well, that's nice. There is no big three right now. That was if like Kawhi had gone to the Lakers, you would have had a big three there. Most teams have a big two right now, or any like
You
the
can
big contenders.
sprinkle some role players in and around him.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's more fun to watch a more even league.
Yeah.
Vegas is putting Clippers as the favorites right now
I would.
to win the championship. Yeah, probably. But they've never won it before.
Well, Kawhi Leonard has a history of taking teams to their first NBA championship.
And I forget the name of the Clippers owner, but he's insane and hilarious.
Yes.
It's just he's the happiest man in basketball.
He's no Mark Cuban.
He enjoys a basketball game more than anyone else in the world.
Well, you really enjoy basketball games. I enjoy basketball too.
He's a billionaire who enjoys
I just can't watch the NBA all year round. Like watching Summer League is like,
This year's Summer League's been fun. I watched OKC versus Croatia today. That one wasn't that very interesting.
No, because I'm guessing OKC crushed Croatia.
No, it was very close, and they were very desperate to not lose.
Oh, well, then that's entertaining on its own.
No, I'm mostly watching the Celtics games. It's been fun. getting to watch the new players develop and all the conversation about what's going to happen with Taco Fall.
I bet he ends up in Portland.
But there's a risk of if they don't put him on the roster, then someone else could snatch him up.
True.
But they're also out of roster spots. On the other hand, they have Gershon Yabusele, who's out in Game 3 with a dislocated pinky, but he's had it's his third year in the league. He's had 2 full trash games in a row. Like, he's definitely done, but
they can put him, they can get Taco on the main roster, their roster, and then still option him to Portland.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised.
It's just a case of if someone else wants to snag him to be on the NBA roster, then that's where he goes.
Yeah, but I think I would not be surprised to see him in Portland a little bit, to be honest.
No, but I mean, do you give up Yabu's contract is for $3 million? They're probably just gonna trade him away. But what's more important? Try to develop a guy like Taco Fall, who's 7'6", and it's fun to watch him dunk on his tippy toes.
Yes,
but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Get rid of Yabu though.
Yeah, time for Yabu to go.
3 years in, he should be dominating Summer League, and every time he touched the ball, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
So that's not great.
No. And then finally, this was from the kind of the neat kind of side notes of sports. The fastest knockout in UFC history happened over the weekend at UFC 239. Jorge Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren in 5 seconds.
Wow.
I'm going to play you the video now.
So that's a... Wow, he didn't really need those second and third hits.
No.
That first one would have done it just fine.
Yeah, the flying knee. So he'd been practicing it. But then here's the thing. So, like you just said, Masvidal was on top throwing some punches, and he was asked afterwards, were those necessary? He goes, necessary. The referee didn't stop the fight. My job is to hit him until the referee stops the fight. And so leading up to this, Masvidal was getting absolutely disrespected by Askren, and so he was asked afterwards, Masvidal, he kind of did the plank. He kind of flapped around like a dead fish on the mat and just really hammed it up. And he's like, I don't like him. I still don't like him. I would slap him up if I saw him in Whole Foods tomorrow. Which prompted a whole bunch of Whole Foods tweets.
Sure.
So there you go.
At least you know he's eating healthy.
But yeah, Dana White, UFC, doing well. Dana White, UFC guy, a Maine guy, Hamden, Maine.
Is he? I didn't know that.
He went to Hamden Academy.
Weird. Learn new things.
So there you go. Now you know.
That it?
That's it.
Unless you have some news about how the Red Sox are boring.
Yeah, they're not very good. They're pretty much the same team back last year, except for missing a couple of bullpen arms. But Dave Dombrowski did not do a good job of bolstering the arms. They just don't have the arms to do it at the back end of the bullpen, and they've lost so many close games and blown 6-inning leads, and they're just they're fighting for the second wild card spot. They might get it. They can still get hot. Lots of things can happen in August, and you still have half July and August, and then all of September before October rolls around.
Only 722 more games.
Yeah, 2.5 months to go in the regular season. That's a long time. But the Yankees kind of solidifying and settling into their first place stature. People getting healthy and getting back. So we shall see. That's it.
All right.
Oh, and NASCAR's coming to New England in 2 weeks.
Great.
I'll be there
at the Speedway or whatever
at New Hampshire. Yeah, Loudon.
I've seen some commercials for it tonight.
It's a lot of fun. You should try it.
NASCAR doesn't interest me.
It's not so much the race. I mean, the race is fun and I enjoy that. It's the partying in and around the race. The people watching is off the charts amazing.
That I believe. I mean, yeah, your average NASCAR fan, seeing them in the wild, ooh.
Easy. There are plenty of NASCAR fans that listen to this show.
But that'll wrap up sports, so we are going to move on to our review of Spider-Man Far From Home. Based on the numbers, you've probably seen it. It did good money.
It did make good money.
As we do for every single movie we do, we're going to start with non-spoilers before getting into spoilers, so let's take it away playing a theme.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
Let's help Disney promote a movie. A very successful movie.
Mulan?
One of the most popular characters of all time. Oh yeah, I saw that trailer.
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, well, no, what movie are you referring to?
Oh, Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
They're doing fine.
Yes.
Overall, I've said it before on the show, I wasn't huge on Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought it's good. And there's some great moments in it, but it was kind of middling for me.
Well, we said it was more street level, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I'm telling you what I said. I said it was fine.
I said it was good. I liked it. It was different. It was ground level. You got to look at what was going on elsewhere in the world after the Battle of New York. It was really like it was your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
This one I like a lot more. I enjoyed myself. I had a good old guffaw.
It was a good time.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
I
it.
had a lot of fun, which is nice because we've seen some real duds recently, like Dark Phoenix and Hellboy.
But it's
like,
still
all right,
felt,
this is fun. It's fun to go
felt,
to the movies.
It felt like a fresh Spider-Man. It's still. As much as I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I really like Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's almost perfect.
Yeah, he's a lot more likable. He also seems like he's enjoying himself.
Well, it's not that Tobey Maguire wasn't likable. It was just
he's not very likable.
I can buy Tom Holland as like young teenage Spider-Man. I had a very hard time buying Tobey Maguire as a high school
37-year-old Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, who has the worst crying face in Hollywood. No, I really enjoyed it. Tom Holland nails the part. There are a lot of great moments in this. Mysterio was fun. Jake Gyllenhaal nailed it. He was a really good villain.
I bet there's not a twist around him. Bet there's not. Did anyone believe it going
No,
into that movie?
But because everyone knew Mysterio was the villain.
What?
Spoiler, sorry. What I liked about it is I kept trying to figure out how they were going to just manifest him as the villain, and when they like revealed how he was the villain, I thought that was really clever.
Oh, I didn't much care for that scene. Without giving too much away, he just... How do we find out what he is? Just exposits for about 4 straight minutes.
Yeah.
Just says what he is, what his history is, what he wants to do in the future. They could have worked that in organically, but instead he just, he talks. He talks at you.
No, but
for a while.
We'll get into it during the spoiler part of the show. I have a question for you about that, so there.
What's his end game? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. You'll when we get there, because I don't want to give any spoilers.
But he is a lot of fun. I do like Gyllenhaal in this role. Previously, he'd been up for Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2 when it was thought that Tobey Maguire wouldn't be returning due to a back injury.
Which is the my back joke.
Actually, it's not. That was in there ahead of time.
Oh, I'm going to say
it's just fun happenstance.
I like it when things happen like that.
Yeah. So he finally got to be in a Spider-Man movie. Also, he's definitely never seen a Marvel movie, which is amazing.
What makes you say that?
See, like, interview clips with, like, him and Tom Holland going around and doing press. There's this wonderful clip of, like, an interview going to him. They're like, so, what are your guys' favorite Marvel movies so far? You just see him look like a deer in headlights, kind of like eyes darting around at Tom Holland's like, I think it's probably Thor Ragnarok. It's like, yeah, me too. That's the one I was going to say. It's definitely that movie I've seen.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
I think Tom Holland is like, he makes the movie, but Jake Gyllenhaal is such a great foil. I thought he was really...
he's fun. I hope we see more of him in the future. The action's pretty solid. There's a couple great scenes with Mysterio. There's a couple moments of wonky CG, like some of the Mysterio stuff.
A little bit, yeah.
And then there's a scene where Spider-Man is running around without his costume on or no mask. I was like, that is a rubbery boy. That is a rubbery fake boy.
He's spry.
I do know this. He's just jumping from like thing to thing. I'm like, that doesn't look right.
I just try and tune most of that out. I don't let that affect my movie. It's not as blatantly bad as some of the other CG we've seen.
No, but I mean, they threw a lot of money at this movie, so I was like, come on, guys.
I like the elementals. I liked how they kind of incorporated like their different villains. Like they're able to work in a lot of other side Spider-Man villains. Like you had the sand, the Sandman. The fire was some
Molten Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You could also say it wasn't those things because they never like say that explicitly.
No, but you can it's a little bit of an homage to it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be beholden to it. I'm like, well, they've done Sandman now, so they could never use him again.
No, I mean, but it's kind of a neat little callback. You can kind of tie some of those things in.
And there's even there's a bunch of references to like characters' first appearance, usually in the form of license plates. A lot of people in Europe's license plate apparently start with ASM, Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Followed by an issue number.
I like
a lot of those.
I like the concept of like seeing Spider-Man in a different school setting. I also love how they handled the snap. They gave it a name now, the blip.
Oh yeah,
and people who've blipped and haven't blipped.
At all.
The opening is great. I like what Marvel's doing now with the opening credits and playing a song over the Marvel logo. That's kind of cool. I've liked that with the last 2 movies. You've had that.
You know what's crazy dark about that though? So they show like people disappear when the snap happens, and then they reappear right where they were. So that means like if anyone was on a flight.
No, because Kevin Feige talked about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just end up on the plane wherever the plane is.
Okay, that's less dark than mine. Just
yeah, no, they don't
of people
just
falling from the sky, splatting down. That's a much happier ending.
But I love how they kind of again. This is what I like about this Spider-Man, for lack of a better term, franchise, is they kind of explain what's happening to the average person while all this crazy stuff is happening. Like, Aunt May's running a support group, and she's like, when I blipped back in, I was in a nice people's house, and they were really supportive of me. And
They thought I was having an affair.
yeah, they thought I was a ghost.
Yeah,
Or
that's the thing from the comics.
People will blip back in and like, he's actually this age. He was a blip.
Oh yeah.
So I liked that. The whole tribute to Tony Stark. He's everywhere in this movie. I like it a little bit.
Boy, he's the driving force behind this movie.
Even his sunglasses.
Yeah.
Edith, even dead, I'm the hero.
When did I have time to program those?
I'm sure he did it when he was inventing time travel. Speaking of, did you see the big poster that was put out by Bleacher Report of like U.S. women's soccer?
Yeah. What the hell is
that?
that?
The cast of Friends, Iron Man. It was very weird. I don't understand it.
Yeah, some office character, and then they took it down, and everyone was like, "What was that?
What happened?
What did you do?
Why is Iron Man on there?" You do know Iron Man is not real.
Yeah, I don't know, good jokes in this one. I think it was a good, funny movie. There's a lot of stuff that was cut out of the trailers and all the promotional stuff.
Oh, the I did your job for you kind of
the whole
stuff.
thing's gone.
But I like that. It's a trailer that kind of misleads you a little bit, doesn't give up the best pieces of the movie, gives you a little something extra.
But I don't know, that's probably it for non-spoilers. It's good. I had a lot of fun with it, which is nice.
I really like the chaperone characters. They were fun.
Yeah, Martin Starr, who was in the last movie, also in The Incredible Hulk for a couple of seconds, and J.B. Smoove.
J.B. Smoove was hilarious.
I wish they had used him more just because...
It's witches.
I know how good he can be. I know him from a couple of things, but I'd say mostly from Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is basically just a show that nothing but improv.
Yeah.
And he's so good. I wish they'd used him a little bit more. But he's a guy, whenever he pops up in anything, I'm happy.
I like the MJ stuff with Peter.
Yeah.
It was all good. It was solid. Solid Spider-Man movie.
They're awkward teenagers. It makes sense.
Yes.
It's not this like great love thing. It's just like we're teenagers with crushes and don't know what to do with emotions.
And I can buy them as those teenagers with crushes and awkward emotions. And looking back now on those, I mean, I still love the Raimi Spider-Mans, but it's hard to buy, it's hard to buy teenagers with angsty emotions out of Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire and Franco. Yeah. Just that was more over the top, campy, comic-y. This is more street level. I like it.
I just like seeing how Franco's hair got more Hollywood with every movie.
Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. I like those movies. I think they stand well on their own, but I really starting to like these better. Those will always have a place in my heart, though. I love the original Raimi Spider-Man.
All right, from there, we're going to move on to spoilers. Every spoiler. So if you haven't seen it, I know there are time codes down below if you want to jump ahead.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
Let's talk about the biggest parts of the movie.
Yes.
The end of the movie.
So, but here's my thing from earlier when it came to Mysterio.
Oh, I meant the credits, but sure.
You want to talk about J. Jonah Jameson, don't you?
We can go into there. You want to talk about the end?
I want to talk about I had a question for you.
Sure, what's your question?
So what I thought was neat, and again, you didn't like how the exposition went, but did you not find it interesting, like how they were like, Mysterio's a liar. He's like always been manipulative, but you even bought into the multiverse and the different Earths and how they laid that out.
Yeah, that bummed me out because they gave us that. They're like, this is Earth 616. And they're like, haha, no. And I'm like, why would you close that door? Why give it to us and then just take it away? Like, that's closing off a big potential for storytelling. That was one of my least favorite parts of the movie is that they introduced it just to not do it. It's like, it
was a good swerve. I thought it was a nice red herring.
I think it's a strange subtraction.
Doesn't mean they still can't enter their own multiverse.
No, but just it was so specific and so Easter eggy and so just like you'll devour this and then like haha, it's not.
But there's mention of Earth 616 in Thor: Dark World when it's on Selvig's whiteboard.
They've had 616 pop up all over the place in Endgame. The trailer where all of Ant-Man's stuff is, it's number 616 and all that. I mean, the number pops up all the time.
Yeah, but I thought it was a neat way to give him that twist.
I thought it was... The end got really dark because, I mean, there's something about, like, Spider-Man's being shot at by a bunch of drones, and then the movie ends with, like, Jake Gyllenhaal trying to just, like, directly put a bullet in his head. I'm like, that's darker than just using a drone.
The Peter Tingle.
Like, you got right up there. All right, let's talk about that, too. That was definitely something that there's going to be some deleted scenes around.
Oh, there has to be.
Because they dropped that plot point hard and picked it up. Because there's a scene in the beginning where May throws a banana at him, and she's like, what, you could dodge bullets but not bananas? Like, yeah, that's not how it only works when he's in danger. He's not in danger from an underhand toss for nutrition.
Yeah, from his loving aunt.
Yeah, and then Happy later in the movie, he's like, oh, I heard your Peter Tingle isn't working. When did that ever come up? Because that never came up. That is definitely a plot point that they got cut out of the movie.
Is it kind of like maybe in Spider-Man 2 where he loses his powers and...
No, they just definitely had a plot running throughout the movie that got cut.
That's fair.
Just when they said that line, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. We have never really dealt with that in any way, shape, or form.
Or it could be that May is dating Happy and they talk about it.
Yeah, Favreau's punching above his weight.
Well, good for him.
Yes. He's fun in this, though. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I like kind of how he fills in, and still is that voice for Tony in a way.
Well, to be fair, I can't believe he kind of stuck around, because originally he was slated to direct the Avengers and Iron Man 3. Then Iron Man 2 happened, and they went, no, that's fine. So the fact that he keeps coming back to play, I think, says a lot about him.
Yes. Plus, I wonder what he's contractually obligated for.
I doubt anything.
Oh.
He has to be picture by picture.
But no, he was really good in this again. Favreau brought it.
And they definitely didn't have a contract for him. I mean, initially, not when he was supposed to be a director.
That's fair.
He's still listed as a producer on the Avengers, but that's because he was originally a director.
Oops.
Yeah. So I'm glad he still comes out. Mysterio's plan. The hell is his plan?
He wants to be the go-to guy. Like, he wants to be famous. That's what he wants.
Well, he wants to be the world's greatest superhero, except that all of the things that he does are illusions that he creates with an entire team. I like that there's a whole team in there. I think that's a lot of fun.
And they all had ties back into Tony Stark.
Yeah, all just a bunch of disgruntled employees.
I really like the callback to the first Iron Man movie with the guy who was getting roughed up by Obadiah Stane.
You know what's crazy about him? Is every time I watch the movie, he is incredibly distracting. It wasn't the case in the Spider-Man movie, but when you see Obadiah Stane yelling at him, he's not bald, but his head is shaved in a really weird, perfect way to make him look bald. The top of his head is deeply distracting. Like, once you see it, you can't unsee how unnatural his hairline is.
All right, I'm going to have to go back and watch that and look for that.
So I'm like, oh my God, it's the hairline guy. You've been bothering me for 10 years.
That's really kind of mean.
Well, he had a full head of hair, then they shaved it.
Well, it happens.
It looks better in this movie. I don't know if he's lost hair in the last 10 years.
Or they're just gotten better at shaving heads.
Or that, because it is very distracting. Just how perfect and the way it's shaved, it's just like that's not natural.
So let's talk about the big finale and all the loose ends that they've created going forward here.
No, so he has no real plan, because he can't be the world's greatest superhero if he doesn't have a team behind him pre-planning stuff. So there's no real future goal. It's kind of a pointless plan.
He just wants to be at the forefront, and but like he said, he wants to expose people for what they are. And
I also like that he just wears a mocap suit. Like, that's just funny.
But he could also use, like, if you're looking for like his deterrent, he can use Edith and the drone strikes and his projected holograms to be that kind of force to fight off things. But he needs the choreography. He needs the different pieces. I get it.
I don't think he's really thought this through.
I also don't know why he has to wear the mocap suit when he's walking around.
So the projection can still pop up. I mean, they just have cameras around him to...
I guess so.
I mean, I think that's how, like, the holograms work.
Probably.
Like, if you get to perform on stage with Tupac, I don't think it's pre-recorded. I think there's a guy.
No, it's pre-recorded. It's all choreographed. Anyhow.
Yeah, then there's the mid and post-credit scene.
Yes.
I'm of two minds of the mid-credit scene.
Okay, speak to me.
Number one, the positives. I've said this before on the show. I've said it on Twitter. J.K. Simmons is the best casting of a superhero character, comic book character, whatever, of all time.
Oh, he's perfect as
You
James
don't
Jameson.
top that casting, and I like that Marvel's plan was don't fuck with perfection.
Yeah.
Just bring him back, because we can't top him. There are literally two other entire Spider-Man series that don't have that character there because of how good that casting was.
Also, he's the first non-MCU casting to appear in an MCU film that's still a Marvel film.
Yeah, but yeah, perfect casting. I love it. I like the idea of updating the Daily Bugle.
And making it kind of like a tabloid website.
Well, it's definitely InfoWars, and he's definitely supposed to be Alex Jones, which I'm not a big fan of doing that. He's someone I would prefer just to fade away and to not give him any kind of credibility. Don't parody him, and Jameson's a character that needs to get humanized. Also, don't humanize Alex Jones. He's a Sandy Hook denier.
I have nothing to say. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so I'm fine with it being like sensationalized internet, wackadoo theories.
DailyBugle.net, though.
But let's take a hard turn away from the InfoWars comparison, because, I mean, from the background to everything about it, I'm like, oh boy.
I love how he says Spider-Man, though.
He could say Spider-Man all
Spider-Man!
I could listen to him say that, just slight variations on it for like an entire day. Just give me J.K. Simmons saying Spider-Man. So I'm so glad he's back, but let's get away from InfoWars.
Yes. So how you kind of could see it getting set up when creepy weird bald guy with the indented head is pulling out the thumb drive.
Oh yeah,
that they were setting up
the doctored footage.
Yeah. So now,
but actually, I do want to take one step back to the InfoWars thing. So we have at the end, Peter's revealed to be Spider-Man. He's like, "Oh my god!"
Well, that's how I was
what are we
towards.
Gonna do? But if this was the real world and InfoWars said this is the truth, I would go, "Great! What's the exact opposite of that?" So not that thing. So I would never think that Peter Parker was actually Spider-Man.
But it's gonna. How are they gonna play this out now that he's been outed?
Just go. No one believes InfoWars. Don't worry about it.
I don't think it's gonna work that way because remember, Vulture. He's still in prison and he knows who Spider-Man is.
Yeah, but he decided not to out him.
Yeah, but now he's been outed. Just saying.
Yeah.
But he's been, of all of the superhero characters, though, in the Marvel Universe, he's been the worst at keeping his identity, which I like because he's a teenage kid.
No one else really has one.
That's a good point. That's fair.
Maybe Ant-Man?
No, I don't know.
He's not out there. He's not hiding it really, particularly, but yeah, no one else really has the secret identity in this world.
Also, great use of the Skrulls in this.
And also making fun of the audience.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the clues were there if you were looking for them, but we're just Skrulls. So what does that mean? We got Ben Mendelsohn back being an Australian Skrull.
He was funny. He was just like, I didn't know. I'm a shapeshifter. It's very embarrassing.
I'm not a very good Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Is Maria Hill even a character? Has she always been a Skrull? Doesn't really matter for that character. But what's Fury up to? He's in space. He's doing a thing.
Sword.
Maybe. Where did you learn that term?
I did some research.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sword, first introduced in Joss Whedon's astonishing X-Men run. It's S.H.I.E.L.D. but in space.
Yeah. So why not? But where are his shoes? Why is he in front of this hologram of the beach? Why didn't he have an umbrella drink?
He had a coconut.
Was there an umbrella in it?
I think there might have been.
Okay. Fair enough.
There's at least a coconut.
He's in space, bitch.
There is kind of a passing line to a Kree sleeper cell. So maybe we're doing something with the Kree. Maybe we're doing something with Sword. Maybe we're moving on to whatever the next big threat is. Who knows?
I did like the where's Captain Marvel? Don't utter that name. Don't invoke that name.
Yeah, I think that was the big hint. I'm sure there are other ones.
Yeah, because Maria Hill's character saying don't invoke that name.
No, Sam Jackson said that
Sam
one.
Jackson, don't invoke that name.
We'll see. I'm sure there will be other hints that you could pick up with another viewing.
Probably, yes.
But that's the biggie that I can remember. It's not like I was watching the movie looking for hints of who's a Skrull.
But doesn't it, like, Sword would set up some more interstellar stuff? Maybe you get some Fantastic Four now.
I mean, Sword, their whole thing is just they're in space. They're S.H.I.E.L.D. for space, and if things are coming to Earth, they try and get them early.
Well, that is Tony's suit of armor around the world.
It is very much that, yes. Except it's a sword.
Whatever.
Sentient world observation. I forget.
Something. RD.
Yeah.
Reconnaissance Division. I doubt it.
Who the hell knows? I don't know. I don't remember.
At least I knew the term sword.
Yeah, you did. I also know you didn't know that from reading.
Nope.
Where'd you get that?
I learned from the internets.
I was trying to remember what specific issue it was, but I was just able to come up with the run.
I like your reaction. How the hell did you know that?
It was in the Gifted arc. Does that help? So it was in the first 6. Let's say issue 5. Double down on that.
All right. I'm going to look it up.
Oh, see if Sword was Astonishing X-Men Volume 3, issue 5.
Let's see. First appearance of Sword. What did you say?
Astonishing X-Men number 5.
Astonishing X-Men Volume 3, number 6.
Ah, damn, I was one off. Oh, well.
That was not bad.
That was pretty close.
That's very good,
I also
yes.
said the Volume 3 part.
You did.
It was very, very, very close. Oh, one other little Easter egg that I really liked in there. It was a little bit of a spin on an old Marvel term, FOOM, which is a Marvel fan club, which I also think was ripping people off, if I remember right. It's a thing. It was called Friends of Old Marvel, but in this, there was FOS, Friends of Spider-Man. I'm like, that's FOOM. You're doing a FOOM reference.
Oh, see, that's a deep pull, one I would not have picked up on.
What, the internet didn't tell you that one?
No, sorry.
The other thing that I did see, this isn't one that I saw. I did see a set photo that kind of confirmed most of it. Is in that mid-credit scene. I can't take credit for this. This isn't mine. A sign that says something big is coming. Then it has the numbers 1, 2, 3, and then ...
So yeah, number 4.
And there's a circle around all of them, which is what the Fantastic Four logo is. But it could also be Phase 4, or it could be both.
Or Spider-Man. No, you gotta get to 3 to go to 4, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either saying Phase 4 or the Fantastic Four.
What about Fantastic Four being Phase 4?
Or that.
That makes sense, does it not?
Yeah. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Bring it. Bring it.
Oh, Ned's a lot of fun.
Oh, Ned's great.
Him and Betty. I hate that. I cringed every time they spoke, but you're supposed to.
That was...
Hey, babe. Like, ugh, God, I hate you so much.
We've grown so much.
Damn kids.
You could see it coming, though, when he's all like, we're going to be bachelors in Europe. And then he's has a girlfriend the entire trip in Europe. Typical school trip, too. You go away to another country and you just
pair off
for a week because you're away from everybody.
Summer love.
Yes, happens so fast.
Not going to continue with the song.
Did we do our patent review system?
Oh, see it in theaters.
Yeah, see it in theaters. Anything else on Spider-Man?
No, we're going to move on to your questions, though.
Letters to the editors.
Now for my favorite part of the show. What's that say? Talk to the audience. Oh, God, this is always death.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
If you want to ask us questions, Facebook works. Email is probably the preferred one. editorsnotecomics@gmail.com.
Electronic mail.
Or on Twitter, if you must. Well, email, you know what? Email's the easiest one, honestly.
You don't lose it?
Because I can mark it as unread. If I read like a message on Twitter or something, then I don't think you can mark that as unread. And the same thing with like when people send me Facebook messages.
You forget them and...
Yeah, it's just I click on them because then like Facebook yells at me. They're like, respond to this message to keep up your high response rate. Because you get that as a business.
Okay. Oh. I wouldn't know.
So people will send me a message at 2 a.m. and then like at 6 a.m. they're like, you got to respond. I'm like, no. So yeah, email's the preferred one because I can mark it as unread and go back to it.
I like it.
It's the truth. But if you want to do it a different way, that's fine too.
All right, what's our question this week?
I think this is coming out of last week because I had mentioned that I had never read Sandman, or certainly not in full.
Okay.
What is something big from pop culture you've missed? What's a pillar? I'm just using my own language. What's a pillar of something? Could be movie, could be a book, could be whatever.
A pillar?
A major movie.
I'm going to say Lost.
Or TV show.
Lost. I didn't watch Lost. I watched like a couple episodes, but yeah, that's something I probably on a pillar of pop culture from the early 2000s I missed out on. I'll admit it.
I don't know. That would be a hard one to go back to because there was just so much hype at the time.
Yeah.
It was that, I don't know, what do you call it?
I could also say like Beanie Babies, Tamagotchi.
Whatever. Easy does it. Also, that's a pillar of pop culture?
It was a huge thing of pop culture.
Tamagotchis.
Yeah.
It's not a movie you've missed?
Like a pop culture movie?
Yeah.
Like a pillar?
Could be a big one. Like
I don't know. I've seen Top Gun.
I wasn't going to consider that a pillar.
That's because you're a loser.
Well, okay. So, like, if I were to go, because there's a couple comics ones I can say.
Okay, you go ahead. I'll think of a major movie I missed.
I mentioned that I haven't done Sandman. Another one that I've tried the beginning of but hasn't quite hooked me is Preacher. It's a big one. It's a TV show right now. Apparently, Vertigo. I missed out on a lot of very popular Vertigo books that just never fully hooked me. That's Sandman. That's Preacher. Walking Dead. I've read maybe the first 30. There's 193 of them, so I'm a little behind.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, but at least I read that one for a little while.
You tried. You got like a percentage point in. Actually, like 2%. Or was it 4%? I don't know.
Those are the biggies that I can think of that I haven't done kind of in comics. I'm sure there's some like smaller miniseries or whatever that I missed out on, but overall, I mean... Oh, Mouse. I've never read Mouse. That's always one of those ones that's touted as one of the greats. I never read that one.
Twilight. I never really got into Twilight.
A lot of people miss that one.
Did they really miss it, though? I feel like to miss out on it, like you have to be there at the time it was happening. Like,
no, I don't think so. I just think if there's some, because if you just never got around to it.
Never seen Seven Samurai.
It's good. It's a fun movie.
Well, I mean, that was also kind of like one of the genesis for R2-D2 and C-3PO. So, you've seen the Muppet movie, right?
Oh yeah, that's a great movie. Bear left, frog right.
Whisper sweet nothing's in my ear. Traffic cop. There's some of the older, like, classic movies. It's like some of the classic movies I haven't seen, I should say. But I've seen, like, Citizen Kane, Some Like It Hot.
Oh, I thought of a good one I've never seen.
Okay.
Goodfellas. Never seen it.
You've never seen Goodfellas? Did we talk about this last week?
I don't think so.
I feel like we did.
I feel like I bring up Goodfellas that often. Never seen Top Gun, never seen Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas is great. Oh, you need to watch Goodfellas.
I know it's supposed to be a good one. I never got around to it.
No, I'm just.
I think we talked about Heat. I've never seen Heat. That one I know we talked about recently.
Yeah, but if you had to choose between Heat or Goodfellas, Goodfellas. Although De Niro and Pacino in the same movie, pretty good.
It just happens. Some things pass you by. Or like the Mulan trailer just came out. I never saw Mulan. Just kind of missed that one.
Well, now you have a chance to see it in live action. Then go back and watch the original and compare.
I probably won't.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. Those are some of my missing ones.
Yeah, I'd fill in. I think mine were pretty spot on.
So Lost.
Yeah, Lost. Watchmen, the movie. I never really...
It's not a lot. It's a 50-50 movie. Some people like it, some people don't. I personally like it.
Well, that's because you like Watchmen, so... Buffy. I never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer on TV. That was a deal.
Goddamn pillar.
See, right there.
Well, it's only 144 episodes.
Only. I'll get right on that. Because I have 144 hours just to kill.
Yeah, probably. You and the cat, just stroking him slowly.
12 hours,
in the den of your home.
I'll just spend the next 12 days watching 12 hours of TV. I'll get back to you.
It's been done.
It's not going to be done by me.
It sounds maddening.
Yes. I have a new thing that I'm doing now, and I'm enjoying it. Paddleboarding.
Okay.
I bought a paddleboard over the weekend. I went out last night for the first time. Awesome. Soothing.
So this new
Very
time-consuming thing that you've done once, you're right, that's really eating up your schedule.
It's going to, because every time I have a chance to, once I'm done with my work obligations over the course of this week, I am going out every day, and I'm going to paddle and have a great time and get tan and jacked and look out.
And jacked from paddleboarding?
Yeah, it's a good workout.
It's pretty passive.
I'd like to see you try it. You got to balance on it. It's a good core workout. You paddle yourself. I fell off twice. First time I ever done it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand up the first time I do it. And I stood up. It's not as easy as it looks.
Well, now that you're getting defensive about paddleboarding, I guess let's wrap it up.
All right. If you like the show, come on and give us a hand. Go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month gets you this show a whole day early. Plus, you also get Patreon exclusive podcast reviews, spoiler and spoiler free, of Buffy, Angel, and Firefly from Zach and Emily. And for $5 a month, you can be a Duke or Duchess of the podcast, and our sound guy will hook you up with your very own Duke or Duchess sounder of the podcast. You can also visit Zach at 210 Water Street in Hollowell and online, editorsnotecomics.com, and he's on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapface, Chatgram, and furthermore, please rate, review, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah, that's a biggie. You don't say that enough. Do that.
I just did.
I just meant the listener.
Oh.
If you haven't, a quick old jaunt over to iTunes. I don't really care about the other platforms.
5 stars. 5 stars for me, 0 for Zach. Still 5 stars for the show.
It's like it's fine when there's like a 3-star review. I'm like, why? Why 3? Well, commit one way or the other.
No, I like it. The ambivalence. You know what a 3-star review is? It's a review on the show.
Great. That's engagement for you.
Yeah, would you rather have a 2-star or 1-star review?
I think so, because then at least they took a stand.
Okay, fair enough.
And you're on Twitter.
At Junior Rich.
Next week on the show. Hey, I hope you like hearing stories, kids.
If the Yellowstone volcano doesn't erupt, all those earthquakes and stuff.
Oh, I forgot to mention that about Summer League. There was a game playing when an earthquake
in
happened.
Las Vegas, yeah.
That was...
Doris Burke's just like, oh, yeah, there's a little earthquake. No big deal.
But next week, something that surfaced last year, 2 years ago, I don't remember, but it's out there on the internet now.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the first attempt to bring Wonder Woman to the big screen with that unproduced script. So you just have to show up.
All right. Those are my favorite
Right.
kinds of shows.
There we go. We'll be back.